In this video, you're going to learn how to make this amazing animation using Adobe After Effects. In this video, you're going to learn how to create a new composition, add text, apply an effect, pen tools, how to work with keyframes, how to edit effect settings, and then save, render, and export your file. Okay, so let's get into it. The first step is to create a new composition, and there's two ways to do that. You can either click the new composition button here, and that will give you the composition settings. You're going to name your comp, you're going to set the width and the height and the frame rate. There's a bunch of presets that are available to you. For social media, for YouTube, I use 1920 by 1080, but you can use additional sizes. So 1920 by 1080, and you can then decide to what will be your rate. I will just stick right now with the default, and then duration. Um, this is here at 8 seconds, but by default it's going to be 30. I recommend 8 seconds, and to change the duration, all you have to do is type 8.00, and that is gonna make it 8 seconds. The background color, you can leave it as is, and, give your composition a name. I'm going to call it the name of what I'm making just to keep it simple, and then click OK. You can also create a new composition by going to Composition and click New Composition. It will give you the exact same window. So here are some fonts that are really nice for this particular project, and I like the font Pacifico. For this tutorial, we're going to use Atocha, but any one of these can work. So the next step is we're going to write our text using the type tool. And I'm writing Lovewani, but you write what you want. I'm going to use the font Atocha. That's the name, how you pronounce it. You can adjust the stage using this menu. So 100%. I want my text to be as large as possible to fill the entire screen. I use a very small screen with After Effects, so I have to collapse and expand panels. To collapse a panel, like my property panel is open, you just double click it, it's going to collapse, and then you will see the additional panels. So I want to align my text so that it's centered. And I want to align layers to composition, not selection. So composition, I want it centered vertically and I want it centered horizontally. So I see I still have room to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so now that I've written my text, I've found the font I want to use. The next step is to apply the effect. So the effect that we're going to use for this tutorial, for this animation, the reveal animation, is called stroke. So we open the effect panel and we search for the effect. Here it is. Now you have to apply the effect to your text. And there's two ways to do it. You can do it by dragging it, and once you see this boundary and the plus sign, you release your mouse and it's going to apply the effect to that element on the stage. You'll also see here the effect and the properties that is associated with that effect, and you'll also see it here as well. If I open this here, you can see the effect. It's called stroke. I'm going to undo that and show you just another way to apply the effect. The other way you can apply the effect, we had an empty text layer. We didn't need it, so I just deleted it. The other way to apply the effect is to drag it to the element here, and that will, again, apply the effect to the item. So if you open this up, you're going to see, aha, here is the effect. And here are the properties of that effect. So all of that is here. It's the same thing here. You can edit the properties here or here. It's the exact same thing. We're not going to make any edits to the effect just yet. We will do that in a later stage, but we've applied it. And now we're going to go on to creating the mask. Okay, so to give the illusion of the reveal, the hide and reveal, we need to mask the text. And to do that, we're going to use the pen tool to create the mask. Now, your pen tool can create a mask and it can create a shape. We want it to create a mask, not a shape. Let's look at the two, okay? If you select the text tool with nothing selected down here, it's going to create a shape. And you know that it's going to do a shape because you will see here fill and stroke. Additionally, let's say we start to draw something, okay? It's going to tell you right here that it's creating a shape, but we don't want a shape. We want a mask. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to press Command Z to undo, or you can just select this and hit delete to delete the shape layer because we don't want that. We want the pen to be a mask and not a shape. To do that, we will select the item first that we want to mask, and then we will select our pen tool. And now you see it doesn't give us options of fill and stroke, and that shows that it is actually a mask. Now we're going to use the pen tool to make a mask, and it's best to kind of zoom in to draw the mask over the letters, okay? So here we go now. The pen tool is a bit tricky. It's something you have to practice. It takes getting used to, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. I'm not the best at the pen tool, so it doesn't have to be 100% perfect to get this animation right, but you want to make it as close as possible to the shape of your letters. Okay, so let's start here. And you click, and then you click to the next point. And I'm going to click, hold, and drag because I want it to be and you're going to see these Bezier handles is what they're called to make a curve. And then that's what we want. I want a curve. And you don't have to make this perfect, guys, because we're going to go back and sort of edit the lines. Okay, so to end it, make sure you click in the middle of this, double click, and now you've ended the path. You're going to see this bounding box and you know that you ended the path. If you don't do that, what will happen is this. It'll just continue. And you don't want it to just continue like this. You want to start a new mask because this is separate from the other. Okay, so sometimes you may want to keep the mask all one, but sometimes you will see that, okay, you want multiple masks to achieve this effect. It just depends on the font that you use and how the letters are spaced. Play around with it and do what works best. But you might find that for the based on what font you choose, you might need more than one mask. You might have multiple masks, and that's fine. But you can see what I'm saying, that you can move your mask to better fit it around the lettering. Okay? Let's undo all of this. All right, we'll start again. And the more you do work with the pen tool, the better you're gonna be. So don't expect that you're gonna be good day one. It's just impossible. Now we've closed the path, and you see once you close the path, it goes automatically to the selection tool, but you want to keep in mind the shortcut for the pen tool, which is G. That will make your workflow faster. So now I'm back on the pen tool. I hit escape because you see it's trying to give me a rotation to rotate this mask that I drew, but that's not what I want. So I hit escape and then I start my path tracing again. And you can just do it like this with points, or you can drag and create Bezier points. Don't worry so much about the first go around. Just try to cover the whole area with paths. That's the most important thing. Okay? And then G, and then G, it's easier to work with less paths than more paths. It just makes for um, a smoother animation. But you're gonna play around with this. This is not gonna be perfect the first time you do it. It doesn't matter. This is all part of the learning process. This you can see. Let me zoom in here so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is open, and you wanna close it. And to close it, double click it, and it's closed. And you see that it's different colors, it's, individual masks, and you can tell by looking at that, you can see all the different masks that you have created, but that's fine, it doesn't matter how many masks you have, um, it'll all work out in the end, you'll see, okay? So and there's no right way to do your path, you're just going to have to work through it and make adjustments in the end, which you can do. So now we have created the path around all our letters, and the next step is to adjust the effect settings. And first, is the color. So because our font and text is white, we want to make this a different color so that we can see the difference between the stroke and the text. Okay, so once we are done with the path, then we're going to select all masks, and that will show the mask. And that's why I was saying it doesn't matter how many masks you have, all the masks will be impacted by the settings, okay? We want the stroke to cover all of our text completely. And so we will make this as big as possible to cover our text. We don't want it too big, but we want it big enough. And so then what we're going to do is make adjustments to the curve by, again, taking the pen tool and adjusting our lines so that it covers the area. But we don't want this mask and this mask to sort of touch base, right? Okay, so we are adjusting our path. The direction of the path is how the animation is going to go. So um, it's important to kind of keep that in mind. I'm going to make this uh, curve. I think that will better fit this. And you might see that you have to make things that were angles into curves just to make coverage better. But play around. Don't be afraid to play around with things. It's easy, and this is how you get better. You're going to learn from your mistakes and by practicing. Okay, so this takes time. This is the hardest part or the sort of most time consuming part. So don't worry about that. And this we don't want to do because that's what's going to happen. And that's not what we want to do. But when we see that, we're going to press the command key. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I don't want that either. Escape. I want the holding the V tool. I'm going to add G. I'm going to switch this. I'm going to add here. I think that's going to help us. Okay, so add points where you need it. I'm going to add a point by hitting command, and there's plus. That looks good. use the V to get the V tool to move the path around. Okay, so now I have my path and all the path is fully covering the text layer below. There are a few little pieces. I think this is gonna be fine. And then we're gonna go to the next step. Now that we have created our mask, the next step is to create keyframes. So with the effect stroke, we're gonna go here to start and make sure that in your timeline, you're at 0. And you're gonna hit the bullseye in the middle to set a keyframe, which we're gonna set at 100%. Then we're gonna hit U. That is going to open up to the properties that has the keyframe. We're gonna go forward in time. So let's just go to 4 seconds. And the more you go, the slower the animation. The less you go, the faster the animation. Play around with what speed and effect you want. So we'll go to 4, we hit the keyframe, and then we will set this to be 0. So the beginning, and here you can see the animation that we have made. Okay, that's it, guys. That's the reveal animation. And of course, there's other things you can do to refine it. I would encourage you to just play, practice the pen tool, go step by step through this tutorial, pause it, go into Adobe After Effects, make changes, come back to the video. Just work through the challenges. It is well worth it to learn a new skill, especially in this digital age. Another thing that I'm going to end with is animations. You will always see people talk about animation and how it looks really great when you do ease in and ease out. So select both of your keyframes to keyframe assistant and hit ease in, and it will smooth out the animation and make it look a little bit more polished. I don't like this so fast. I liked it at 4 seconds. And there you go, voila. Now, the final and last step is rendering and exporting your file. Okay, so this is an 8-second animation, and we don't need it to be 8 seconds. The whole animation is finished in 4 seconds. We just need it as big as 4 seconds for the animation to complete. And then by reducing the time, we'll also reduce the file size, so it'll make your file more efficient. So I'm gonna go into composition, and I am going to change my composition settings. I'm going to change it from 8. And since we only have 4 seconds, I'm going to do 4.00. Okay, so you saw, if you noticed that when we changed the composition setting and reduced it, it also reduced the animation itself. So even though the work area was 6, the animation was cut down, and so we needed to resize it. So that's that. Okay. The final step is to render and export your animation. We are going to go to File, Export, and we want to add to render queue. It will create a secondary tab over here, render queue, and you will see your file, which is right here, output module. It'll tell you that what format. You can click on that if yours isn't format H.264, which is the best for web work. And make sure the channel says RGB, and everything else you can basically leave the default. And then you click on output 2, you click on this, where do you want to store this? And that's where I keep all my exports, and give it a name and say save. And then when you're ready to render, you click the render and it's going to render. And here is our animation. Isn't this great? Fantastic, guys. And of course you can enhance it by even adding music or speeding it up or slowing it down, changing the color. The possibilities are endless. Just let your creativity and imagination flow. But there you go. This is our animation text reveal, and I love it. Leave a comment below. What do you think of it? Have any questions? Please ask below. And if you're not interested in making your own animation and you need help, we do animations, video editing, graphic design, user experience design, user research. Just let us know what you need and we'll be happy to help. Okay, thank you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you are informed when we release our next tutorial. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.